It is 2 for Monday, apparently. Alright, had a subscriber request, said he was having some issues with exploding rats on his frozen thawed and didn't know the proper way to defrost them and bring them up to temp. So, Renku is the subscriber that recommended this. Very basic. The night before feeding day, which my feeding day is typically Sunday, but I kind of ran short of time yesterday, so we're going to be doing it today. So basically all I've done is I've taken my rats, I've just placed them in a tub. Now I deal with sizes all the way from small all the way up to mammoth. So what I do is I take my smalls, I put them in with my mammoth, I'll take my mediums, put them in with jumbos, and then I have one for just large. That way you can differentiate them from when it's time to hand them out for feeding. So anyway, basically all I do, place them in a tub the night before. Night before feeding day, I usually come down about 8:30, 9 o'clock, go ahead and separate all my rats, and then go ahead and fill them up with cold water. The reason you don't use hot water or any kind of, and I think that might be what Renku's having an issue with. When you do a hot water or even a warm water for a long period of time, it does seem to thin the body cavity walls a little bit. I have had that in the past. I've had it maybe 3 or 4 times where as soon as they hit, the guts just go everywhere. And of course they squeeze, which is pretty much like a tube of toothpaste and all over, and it is a horrible mess. So Renku, I can kind of get what you're coming from there. So the way I've done it, and to avoid any kind of problems with that, again, taking out all of my rats the night before. You can even do it if you're going to feed in the evening. Do it at when you first get up in the morning. Cold water. Let them completely thaw. Typically, this is a large bin of jumbo rats and mediums. The jumbos, you want to make sure, I would come down in about an hour or two and just make sure they're all separated. I have had them refreeze in cold water, but I very rarely have an issue of exploding rats. If anybody has watched Stranger Things on Netflix, I binge watched over the weekend. Season 3 actually has exploding rats, and it's actually very familiar if you've ever seen this problem while feeding your snakes. Anyway, off track. Set them in cold water until they completely thaw. Now, what I do after that is I will drain all of the cold water, and I put in anywhere between 95 and 105 degree water for about 10 to 15 minutes. Basically all you're doing is getting that body temperature up a little bit. These things don't have to be hot, they don't have to be very warm. I've fed them when they're at room temperature and they take it just fine. The more hot that you use, the more chance you are going to get with your exploding rats. So I will come down later on this evening. I will drain the cold water. I will put in some warm water, like I say, I would say between 90 and 100. And I thought I had my gun here, but like I say, for about 10 or 15 minutes, just to get their body temperature up a little bit, I roll them in a paper towel or in a regular towel and just start handing them out. That is what you can do to avoid the exploding rat trauma, and hopefully that helps. I'm trying to get to all of my viewer responses, and I've got a day where I can get most of these videos up and running. So hopefully that helps. Renku, thanks for the shout out and for the recommendation, and hopefully that helps you. Thank you. Peace out.